want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
Gentlemen, are you ready? My name is Leah Rawls. I am the president of the Willimantic branch of the NAACP. We are here today because there has been an arrest in the noose hanging of a noose in the Hebron School of Ram High School. I'm here to say that the NAACP calls for the degree of charges to reflect all elements based on the hate crime statutes. According to the state statute, Connecticut General Statute 46A-58, as defined, includes placing a noose or a simulation of one on public property or on private property without the owner's written consent and with the intent to harass someone based on his or her religion, national origin, alienage, color, race, sex, gender identity, or disability, blindness, mental disability, or veteran status. The NAACP wants any individual who commits the form of hate crime to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, according to the applicable federal, local, and state laws. We are tired of having to address this issue over and over again. What lessons are we teaching our children that they feel that this behavior is acceptable? We're here to tell you it's not. It's not acceptable, and we will fight it all the way. I'll introduce my Vice President, Mr. Rodney Alexander.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rodney Alexander, Jr. I'm the first Vice President of the Willimantic branch of the NAACP. We're here today because there is a lack of justice, not only in Northeast Connecticut, but throughout Connecticut, for children of color. They are being let down. They are failed by a system that is flawed, not only from legal points of view, but the school systems itself. Governor Lamont signed in the act, the Public Act 22-9, which enhances investigations into hate crimes by the Connecticut State Police. Governor Lamont said this law creates a uniform statewide system where hate crime investigators will be centralized. He said hate has no place in Connecticut, but yet a noose was considered a rope. This new law requires the hate crime investigation unit to be responsible for working to prevent and detect certain crimes that are generally based on bigotry or bias against a race, religion, ethnicity, disability, sex, sexual orientation, gender, identity, or expression. In addition, this unit must compile, monitor, and analyze and share data about such crimes. Did the Hebron State Police share this information with the hate crime unit? What happened at Ram High School, how can anyone with the state police unit who investigated this come up with a breach of peace and a noose in a public place? If you knew the history of American lynching, then you wouldn't tie a knot without doing so for the express person of threatening another person. In America, the hangman's noose has come to symbolize deplorable acts of brutality, along with unbound fear, hatred towards African Americans. It's a reminder of America's dark history of racial violence. In closing, I'd like to ask you once again, how come this is not being trialed as a hate crime? If this was a swastika on the gym wall, people would be screaming from the top of their lungs, hate crimes. But we as African Americans and people of color have to prove it's a hate crime. Why? Hate crimes on people of color are just as American as apple pie, and it's time for it to stop. Thank you.
All right.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
That's it? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we ask some questions?
Sure.
Sure.
So, just a wide open question.
Sure.
Where would you like to see this go? The investigation, the prosecution. Can you specify where you would like to see it?
As high as it needs to go to justice, because you have children of color, not only at Ram High, you got them in New London, Norwich, Wyndham, Willimantic. You have them in Killingly. Oh, Lord, let's not forget Killingly. Plainfield, all up and down here. These kids are getting a slap on the wrist and being allowed back into the schools. The superintendents are saying their hands are tied. They suspend the kids. They come back to school later. The students who were being harassed know they're coming back. The parents have to transfer their kids to another school. Why? Why aren't these students being expelled? A noose is a weapon, bottom line. If it was a gun, everybody under the sun would have been here, and I got to watch my words. I'm highly upset with this because the message that is being sent is that children of color don't care in our school systems. Their safety is not important. The mental health damage it does to kids alone, I'm talking as young as 6th grade, where they have a website that they've been using called Keeping Kids Cool, spelt with the letters K. Recruiting young as the 6th grade and talking and having conversations in these websites about killing black students. FBI says their hands are tied. Everybody's hands are tied. What is it going to take? We're sitting on a powder keg here, and everybody acts like it's a joke. It's time for the jokes to stop.
Yeah, we don't want to be here after the act. We want to be part of the solution.
Exactly.
We want this changed. We want the laws to be implemented. We want prosecution. I don't want to wait until a black kid is hanging in a gym. I don't want to wait until they decide to shoot up the school.
Exactly.
Connecticut needs to stand firm on this.
Have you had conversations with state police or
Department of Justice. We've had.
What have they told you?
They've told us just what Mr. Alexander just said. Their hands are tied.
Because of the laws for adolescents, this has to change. They're 17 years old. In one more year, they'll be ready to vote. These are young adults. Young racists become big racists or older racists, whatever term you want to use. We have to figure out a way to stop this. This is 2022, not 1932.
Right. Or beyond.
Or beyond. I'm being nice. Any other questions?
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!